This is 10. This is the best one of the day by far right here. There's a great big one underneath that tree right there. Still got my hook in it from yesterday. You ready, bub?
Yep.
Here she comes. Good job. Thank you.
Well, we are back here on Lake Cumberland, wrapping up the Toyota Series Championship. We have our winner, Mr. Chris Malone. You got over $250,000 for winning a stinking bass tournament.
It's pretty awesome, man. From the guys used to fishing for 20 bucks on the Wednesday night derby on the high river to come down here and win $250,000 is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, you had a fantastic tournament. It was a great 3 days of fishing. We're going to splash this Phoenix in the water and see if we can't go back out. Maybe catch us one, but more importantly, we're going to figure out how you did it. So what do you say we get rolling?
I'm ready.
All right, Chris, we made a little run down the lake here. We're kind of in the juice for you.
Absolutely.
And tell me a little bit about why this section of the lake.
Well, the big thing about this section is the main river channel. If you look down that way, you can see how that main river channel swings on that side. We got the offside, flat side, and this is the main river channel. It's much deeper. You can see how steep the walls are. All these smallmouth are starting to set up for their wintertime haunts. And a lot of them's pulled off on that, and they're setting on these steeper walls set up for the winter.
Okay.
Most of your bait and stuff is flowing with the channel. That's where they're going to winter as well.
Sure.
So, but the water's still not cold enough to get the fish down low in the water column, meaning they're above the deep water but shallow.
Okay.
So what we're mostly fishing is getting on these steeper walls and getting a little reaction bite with the tail spinner.
So that's where this comes into play.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're just close range, almost like pitching a jig right on the rocks, and they'll have little points and stuff on these rocks. And those smallmouth will set right off the edge of those rocks. And you pitch that little tail spinner and it'll flutter down real quick, and just a reaction bite is what we're getting off the fish.
Okay. Definitely a lot different than a lot of the other top 10 guys were doing. But the principle's sound. Now let's see if we can, actually make it work and catch one of these angry brown fish.
We'll give a heck.
Now, I never really got to watch you fish this week, but I feel like, a lot of guys here and what we've seen in these, fall, winter championships, even in the spring, you're running new water.
Yeah.
You got a pattern, but you're running new water.
Yeah.
Were you able to run the same banks throughout the tournament and still keep catching fish off them?
A few. This was probably my best little area amongst the big area that I fished. I mean, I concentrated in a 10-mile area. And then I could fish and jump around in that 10 mile. But there's a lot of other competitors that's doing the same thing in the same area. So it was getting beat up pretty good. So the final day I run all the way down to the Conley bottom area.
Okay.
After we got 5. Because I thought my size of my fish were getting a little smaller. And I wanted to give myself a chance to win. I thought the bigger fish are toward the dam. There's no doubt.
Yep.
The bigger fish are toward the dam. That's where they live. But they're also smarter. I don't like smart fish.
Chris, I really didn't think, I guess I wasn't surprised to see this little guy here catching fish this week, the time of year and stuff. But I feel like these little tail spins like this don't get, they're not a super flashy bait in terms of people buying lots of them or using them a lot. Just kind of give me a little rundown on why this guy, and you have, there's several you used, and, it wasn't really one particular one, but just what made you pick this guy up?
It's really a regional thing. Started in Del Hollow Lake, 50 miles down the road. Billy Westmoreland probably made the tailspin. He made smallmouth famous. He's the king of smallmouth. But the tailspin's got a following. Smallmouth wintertime, deep water following for 50 years, you know. And it gets bites, but it's not flashy.
Right.
You know, it's not your everyday lure. You're not going to go throw this in May when they're up on the spawning beds, things like that.
Right.
But man, it just catches fish in the right conditions.
Okay.
You got to pick your spot, pick your time, and sometimes there's not a better bait to throw, you know. But like I say, it really revolved in this area. Like I say, many years ago with the Little George, the Spin Right, the Pedigo, to, you know, that's a custom homemade bait to, that's a Big Daddy booger spin. It baits what that is. So, you know, it just comes down to different baits do different things. That's a little bit, the line through is a little bit better on a vertical fall. The non-line through is a little bit better on a swim or on a 45-degree bank.
Okay.
So, you know, they're different and everything's got its place, you know. But, man, it's just a special lure, these cold time smallmouth tournaments.
Sure.
You know.
Well, and you just talked about it a little bit ago, but you were saying, you know, the other thing is when they eat it, they usually got it pretty good.
They got it.
It's not a crankbait they
Yeah.
swiped at, maybe
Yeah.
just have a back hook.
Yeah.
It's little enough that, you know, a smallmouth can get it in their mouth very easily, and you can keep them buttoned.
Most of these fish I caught, I'm going to say 4 out of 5 were caught inside to the gills almost.
Oh, wow, they choked it.
Yeah, they get it. They get it. And that's a good thing about that. They don't have the time to sit there and look at it and judge it.
Right.
And it's small enough that they get it. It's not like that bullshad that
Right.
you catch 1 out of 15, you know. But when you catch one on that bullshad, it's the right one,
Yeah.
you know. But, I mean, this gets a lot more bites, generates a lot more bites. Your hooking percentages are much better. But, you know, that's what my guys asked me, you know, in my co-anglers throughout tournaments. Man, does it work summertime, things like that? On a spawn or on a schooling fish somewhat in the summertime, you can reel it through baits and things like that, schools of bait. But to pitch it on these walls, it's not really that kind of a bait, you know, in the summertime time. But in this wintertime, it wasn't nothing better this week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, and, you know, the other thing is, there's a lot of, Cumberland's a big lake.
Absolutely.
But with 220 boats, it can get a little crowded in certain stretches, especially where, you know, the fish are biting.
Yeah.
This week, it seemed like you could still go behind guys throwing a crankbait, throwing a spinnerbait, something like that, and you're basically fishing, either you're going to get a reaction bite out of some fish that they missed, or you're fishing an entirely different chunk of the water column than those guys are.
Absolutely. There was, like I look back here, and I believe 4 of the top 10 that made the cut final day were in this 5 or 6 mile area.
Yes.
And as far as I know, we were all fishing different.
Yeah.
You know,
pretty much.
I know Cameron was cranking. I know one of the other boys was throwing a spinner bait. One of them might have been throwing a jig, and then I must have thrown this tail spinner. And, you know, and it comes down to, like I say, showing something a touch different. I had a little ace in my pocket on this one. Most people don't have. So.
Ooh.
Not much. Close.
Quick release.
We're looking for his great grandmother though.
That was one of the few non-keeper smallmouths I feel like I saw on Cumberland. I didn't even know they made them that small.
They don't make many.
But that was almost as soon as you flipped up there and picked up and it had it, right?
Yeah, it was, like I say, that initial fall is, right now with this water temperature, is pretty crucial to be ready on that initial pitch.
Which, what are we at for water temp? Or, you know, where are we at now versus when you started practicing?
Man, truthfully, I started practicing 3 weeks ago. And this water was 63, 64.
Okay.
And we're 54 now.
Wow.
You know, so we've lost about 10 degrees in about 3 weeks, and we've lost probably 3 foot of water level as well on the winter draw. So.
And where we're at now is probably about as low as it'll get.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't looked it up, but it was 692 or something like that. Chris, we talked about your tail spinners, but you should probably give me the scoop on, you know, the setups that you use, that you fish them on, rod, reel, line.
Okay.
What are we working with?
What I'm throwing right now on this one, it's a 610 GLX or G Loomis IMX Pro spinnerbait rod, really. 10-pound test, fluorocarbon, Seaguar and VizX on a Curado rod. Truthfully, the one you got right now is a crankbait rod. It's got a little bit spongier tip. You don't have quite as good a feel. I truthfully like the spinnerbait rod a touch better.
Okay.
But you got to have something with a little bit of tip to where when you do pop it, you don't bring the bait away from the wall that we're fishing. So you want something that's got a little bit of a tip to keep it there, but still enough just to move the blades to get the bait turning, working effectively. But 10-pound test, and you could have possibly went with something bigger than that, but smallmouth do get a little line shy, and then when it's like this, bright, clear, sunny, they really get finicky. So.
And do you think 10, just with the weight of this and, you know, going for the reaction bait, it falls a little better on this lighter line too?
Absolutely. It definitely falls. There's less drag. You know, you can feel the difference. You can really feel the difference on what line diameter does when you go out and fish bait.
Sure. Like
offshore, yeah. And see what 6-pound test does, and 10-pound test does, and 15-pound test, and it's really astonishing. You can do it, especially on this live scope. You turn that live scope on and you drop the same bait with 6-pound test, 10-pound test, 15-pound test. The same bait will get down to the water twice as fast on 6 as what it will 15, you know. So right now we're not looking for a slow fall. We want a fast fall. We want them fish to react. We don't want them to think about it.
Chris, you said on stage yesterday that you know, you took some time off from fishing. You started your dealership, which is what you've been doing, really, for the last, I guess, when did you start that?
2010, 2011.
Okay. So you stepped away from fishing to work in fishing, which is actually kind of a rare move. A lot of people that step away from fishing, you know, are doing something else. So that's kind of nice. You got to keep around the industry, but you know, now you're running a Phoenix. We're on Lake Cumberland, a place you just bought a house last year. You know, you hope to retire here. And what's it mean to get the biggest win of your career, you know, on a lake that probably means a lot to you?
Yeah, this lake was special before. Now it's, I can't put into words what this lake means to me. To have, you know, yesterday and win it on Lake Cumberland, have my family and friends, wife come down, you know, on a beautiful pond. I mean, you just look at this lake. I mean, there's not a better looking lake in the country, and it's plumb full of fish. It's just plumb full of fish. It didn't show itself out this week, but it does have them. And to win $250,000, you know, thanks to FLW, man, you just can't put that into words. I mean, that is a life-changing win. I mean, that's the fishing lottery of lotteries right there.
No
you
kidding.
know, without having to buy a scratch-off ticket. So, but no, it does. It means a lot, and you know, when the time comes and my guys that's running the shop kick me out, I'll end up spending a whole lot more time, more than just weekends on Lake Cumberland. Right now I'm a weekend guy, but it'll be a full-time residence down here, and looking forward to it.
I bet.
Looking forward to it.
Well, I appreciate you coming back out here today. You don't live all too far away.
No.
Ohio's not that long of a drive. However, you know, we're sitting here talking about you one day retiring here. You do have to get rolling. You do got to get back to work.
I got a gentleman going to be on my doorstep at 9 o'clock in the morning to pick up a new boat. So he texted me last night. And he said, "You still got time to take care of a boat deal?" And I said, "Absolutely." The business comes first. It always has with me. I love fishing. That's been my life. You know, that's been. If I was addicted to one thing in life, it would have been fishing. You know, and that's every dollar I've made. I've pushed 2 boats and fishing poles and being a better fisherman. And man, it's. I won't say it was ever a goal of mine to be a professional fisherman, but I always wanted people to respect me. I wanted, you know, when you show up at a meeting, you see that guy and say, he catches them.
Yep.
I wanted to be that guy. I didn't have to be Jacob Wheeler. I didn't have to win the FLW Cup, or I didn't have to win the Bassmasters Classic. But I wanted people to say, that guy catches them. And we caught him this week.
Yeah, that you did, man. Well, I appreciate the heck out of it. Congratulations again. But I think we lay these rods down, enjoy us a nice little run back up this lake, and we'll let you get rolling home, get back to work.
We got work to do, brother.
Let's get it.
Thank you.